I'd like to welcome everyone to this webinar on gender pronouns and how they relate to gender diverse people. But before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, on whose land we are on. We pay respect to elders past and present, for they hold the memories, traditions, culture and dreams of Indigenous Australia. This workshop has been put together to give people insight into gender pronouns and how they relate to gender diverse people. To start, just a little bit about myself. I have a Bachelor in Psychology, a Bachelor in Visual Art and a postgrad diploma in Sexology. I am currently working on my Masters of Sexology, where I am completing research in orgasmic capacity and orgasmic experience for trans women post-genital surgery. Besides my studies, I am also an artist. I create paintings, illustrations and sculptures. I am also a sexuality educator and an online content creator. On YouTube, I create content that's related to motorcycles, art and sexuality education. And my pronouns are she, her and hers. So to start off with, let's start with a bit of a definition of what a pronoun is in the first place. A pronoun is a word that refers to the people talking or something or someone that is being talked about. In language, it can be a substitute for a noun. Examples would be, let's see, I, me, he, she, herself, you, it, that, they, everybody, whoever. Now, a bit of a definition about gender pronouns. Specifically, they refer to people that you are talking about. So binary pronouns, so male, female pronouns, would be she, her, hers, he, him, his. Non-binary pronouns, so those that do not identify with being male or female. And they can be on the spectrum from one to the other, or both, or neither. So an example would be sie, zim, ze, vi, the, and viz. This is most definitely not an exhaustive list of pronouns, but it shows how each of the pronouns can be used and for what situation. For example, instead of he, she, use zij. Instead of him, her, zim. Instead of his, her, use zijs. Of himself, herself, use sie self. So why are appropriate pronouns important? It's the most basic way to show you respect their gender identity. It validates someone's gender identity. It shows someone that you see them and respect them. It shows that you support them. And when you use the wrong pronouns, they can feel disrespected, invalidated, dismissed, alienated, dysphoric, and can be all of these and more. Maybe think of it this way. It is a privilege to not have to worry about which pronoun someone is going to use for you, based on how they perceive your gender. If you have this privilege, yet fail to respect someone else's gender identity, it is not only disrespectful and hurtful, but also oppressive. So the question is, how can you find out about someone's pronouns? Well, if you're unsure of someone's pronouns and you are in a group, listen to what other people use. If they know them, they will use the appropriate pronouns. If you're not in that situation, introduce yourself with your pronouns. Something like, if I was to introduce myself, I would say, hi, I'm Nikki, and I use the pronouns she, her, and hers. If they are coming out to you, disclosing their gender identity, then just ask nicely. It's quite that simple. You can just ask them something like, "Thank you for sharing that with me. It means a lot to me that you would come to me. What pronouns would you like me to use?" Or just ask. If none of those situations arise, then just ask. Never ask about what gender they are. Instead, just ask like this: what pronouns do you use? Okay, inevitably what happens is people stuff up. They say the wrong pronouns. Purely innocent sometimes. Sometimes people don't do it for those reasons, but it happens. You can't do anything about it. It happens. What do you do when you made a mistake on someone's pronouns? I'll reassure you right now, it's perfectly okay if you do stuff up. I'll be surprised if you didn't stuff up. Everyone makes mistakes. Worst thing you can do is panic. Don't panic. That's what you need to do. Don't make a big deal about it. If you got it wrong, then just say, "I'm sorry, I meant," and use the appropriate pronoun. If you realise later, apologise in private and move on. Again, don't make a big deal about it. Don't do it in front of other people. Just do it in private. But don't ignore it either, unless it has been for a very long time. And as I keep saying, don't make a big issue about it. If you make it a big deal, the situation will feel awkward for both you and them, and they are very likely to feel responsible for comforting you for your mistake. So you just apologise and try to get it right next time. So of course, what do you do when you hear someone else using the wrong pronoun for someone? It's kind of tricky in a way. If someone else is using inappropriate pronouns, if the person they were talking about was not around, do correct the person using the wrong pronoun. If they are around, follow their lead, or ask them later if they would have been happy for you to step in and correct those pronouns. Don't take it upon yourself that you have to be the one charging into the battle. You can only stand by and support the person. You cannot be the charger. So check in with them. If you're not sure, you don't know what they want you to do, check in private. When you go to correct the misuse of a pronoun for someone else, use something like, "Nikki uses the pronoun she." Simple. Okay, let's wrap things up. Gender pronouns are nouns used to identify an individual. There are binary and non-binary gender pronouns. If you're unsure about someone's pronouns, listen, ask someone's pronouns if you're not sure. Never ask someone's gender. The use of appropriate pronouns shows support and respect. Don't forget, everyone stuffs up. Everyone makes mistakes. So just apologise and move on. So I would like to thank everyone for staying to the end of this little webinar on gender pronouns. I hope you enjoyed it and get a lot from it. So until next time, bye.